knew this was popping off, but there was a little get down up in Michigan, man. So let me go ahead and get to the officials and get the story out here because we need to know what's going on out here. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know if y'all knew this, but here we go.
Brian, thank you so much. We do have a developing story to tell you about out of northern Michigan tonight. Michigan State Police say 6 people are dead, including the suspected shooter, after a series of shootings at 3 locations in Misaukee County. Another person is in critical condition on that tonight. Now, what we're hearing tonight is Michigan State Police are investigating that shooting that happened early this morning around 11:40 when they were called to a home on South LaChance Road for a reported shooting. Troopers found 3 people dead at the home and a 4th in critical condition. Investigators then identified a suspect and launched a large search. They later found another body at a separate home and 2 more in a nearby wooded area near Whitlock Lake, including the suspect. State Police have identified the shooter as 39-year-old Chad Hickman. State Police Lieutenant Ashley Miller says this has been devastating for everyone involved.
Not only is this difficult for our investigators and our troopers, but it's very hard for this community. You know, this type of loss is tragic, and we're going to conduct a thorough investigation.
Officials are not releasing any information on the victims until the families are notified. Stay with News 10 and we'll update you with more details, including a possible motive, as they are made public.
Now, I want y'all to notice something because I'm finna build up a little case against these folks, man. Notice how they treating. You see the picture of the suspect, but notice how they treating this with kid gloves now. Check it out.
First, before we get to the live look, just to kind of let you know what we've been tracking and what the New York Post is reporting on. We are hearing of a mass shooting situation in Michigan. 5 people being killed after a suspect went on a bloody killing spree, according to the Post. 6 total dead, including the suspect, after this shooting spree. Right now, you're taking a live look at Cadillac, Michigan. And I'm told that this is in the same county as where this shooting situation took place. Unfortunately, this is a bit of a rural area. We don't quite have the same news sources that we would have in a bigger city. So we don't have footage of the scene at this time. This camera is in the county where this is taking place in. The
always out in the
local
sticks.
Police department sent out a update, and it's a lengthy update. I just want to read verbatim what detectives from the Michigan State Police are saying about this situation. I'll read it as such. Michigan State Police, Cadillac Post, are investigating the deaths of 6 individuals, including a suspect discovered in 3 different locations in northern lower Michigan. As investigators continue to gather information and notify next of kin, the ages and genders of the victims are not being released at this time. Preliminary timeline of events, which are subject to change as the investigation continues, so they kind of lay out what happened here. I'll give you a synopsis of it. They say at about 11:40 in the morning local time, troopers were dispatched to a home on South LaChance Road in Lake Township for a report of a person who had been shot. Upon arrival, troopers located 3 dead people and 1 person in critical condition who was transported to an area hospital. The identified suspect, 39-year-old Chad Hickman, fled the scene prior to the troopers' arrival, which initiated a large-scale police response and search with support from the MSP Emergency Support Team and Aviation and Canine units. I'll put the picture up once again of 39-year-old Chad Hickman they have here. During the search, according to police, a 4th deceased individual was located at a 2nd separate home in Misaukee County. During the search, troopers observed the suspect's vehicle near a wooded area close to Whitlock Lake in Caldwell Township. As the search continued, troopers located Hickman and another individual deceased in the wooded area. The MSP is asking community members to avoid all 3 areas so investigators can safely and effectively process each scene. I'm being told by our producing team here, Caleb just told me that we do have a report from a local affiliate. So a Fox affiliate near the area, near Cadillac, Michigan, apparently did file this report. We just got this into the newsroom, so let's watch this together.
Troopers responded to a call of a gunshot victim at a Lake Township home just before noon on Friday. When they stepped inside, 3 people were dead. The caller was taken to the hospital in critical condition. And the man state police identified as their suspect, 39-year-old Chad Hickman, was already gone. What followed was a search that stretched across the county.
We deployed our Detective Bureau, our aviation unit, emergency support team, K-9 unit, to try to track down the suspect who had fled the scene before troopers arrived.
During that search, investigators found another person dead inside a second home. Then, troopers spotted Hickman's vehicle near a wooded area close to Whitlock Lake in Cadwell Township. In those woods, they found Hickman and they found one more person, both dead.
Right now we're looking at 6 deceased individuals and 1 individual in critical condition.
State police have not said how any of the 6 people died. They've not released a motive. And they're not releasing names or ages while investigators gather information and notify next of kin. There is one thing that investigators say that they're certain of tonight.
There is no threat to the public at this time.
The Cadillac Post is leading this investigation, with detectives pulled in from Traverse City and Roscommon. The DNR helped. So did the Forest Service, the Misaukee County Sheriff's Office, and the County Road Commission. 3 scenes in one small county on one Friday afternoon.
This type of situation, doesn't happen too often, and when it happens in a small town, it's scary. So it's okay that people are feeling that way.
State police say that they'll release more information as they're able to. In Misaukee County, Nick Simon, 9 and 10 News.
We appreciate Nick's reporting. He's with WFQX.
LA, what up?
We appreciate their insight in.
Jamal, what up? What it do? Now, I'm doing this for a reason, y'all. I want y'all to see how it's just saying suspect this and suspect that and suspect this and suspect that. Check it out.
6 people were killed southeast of Cadillac. It all happened around noon today. Troopers were sent to a home in Lake Township for a report of a person who had been shot. When troopers arrived, they found 3 people dead and another in critical condition. Investigators identified the suspect as 39-year-old Chad Hickman. During a search, police found a 4th person dead at a separate home. Eventually, troopers found Hickman's vehicle close to Whitlock Lake in Caldwell Township. Hickman and another person were found dead in a wooded area. State police have not said what led up to the shootings or whether the victims knew each other or Hickman. They're asking the public to avoid all 3 areas while the shooting remains under investigation.
Now y'all heard that. Look, I even got the 911 call to the shooting too. Check this out.
7-5 is the EMS crew. He responded a 13-year-old on the phone stating she was shot in the arm. I'm having a hard time communicating with her.
Well, state police swarming the scene of a mass shooting we now know has left 6 dead in Misaukee County tonight and a 7th in critical condition. Dispatch audio obtained from Broadcastify detailing what we believe to be a 911 call placed there by a 13-year-old victim. And we can confirm investigators are working across 3 scenes tonight.
Police say the suspect was later found dead. Let's get right to Up North Live's Tony Lundy on the scene in Misaukee County all day. He joins us live with up-to-the-minute details in this developing story. Tony,
what's the situation there? What are investigators telling you?
Well, state police says what started with a 911 call about someone being shot has now become a multi-scene investigation evolving. Troopers were called to a residence on LaChance Road around 11:40 this morning after someone reported being shot. When they arrived, they found 3 people dead and another person critically injured. Then investigators discovered another deceased person near a wooded area, Lake Whitlock, and another inside a separate residence. Police say the suspect was found dead, and investigators are now working to piece together what happened and why.
Not only is this difficult for our investigators and our troopers, but it's very hard for this community. This type of loss is tragic, and we're going to conduct a thorough investigation, and we want to make sure to keep our community members up to date on our current situation and what we're discovering throughout this process.
Miller says that there is no threat to public, and despite resources being tied up at scenes, police are still patrolling and the community is responding to calls for service. We'll keep you updated as the story evolves. Live in Misaukee County, Tony Lundy, Up North Live News.
All right, Tony, big thank you for that. Of course, we'll check back in with Tony at the top of the hour. We do want to pull up the photo one more time. Misaukee County court records show Chad Hickman was charged with 5 felony and 3 misdemeanors in 2024. The charges included first-degree criminal sexual conduct, third offense, domestic violence, and child abuse. Hickman pled guilty to 2 charges, fourth-degree child abuse and contributing to delinquency of a minor in that case. Both were misdemeanors, and he was sentenced this September 2024 to 1 year in jail. Again, he has since been located. We are digging into the how, the where, and trying to get the other open questions answered tonight. We'll bring you up to the minute details on air and online.
What? Are you serious? Look, I got another one. I'm trying now. I want y'all to peep game now. I want y'all to keep a peep game. How they keep saying a man, the suspect, a man, the suspect. Check it out.
6 dead in northern Michigan after a man opened fire near a rural home in Misaukee County. State troopers now trying to piece together exactly what happened. Thank you so much for being here with us for the news at 11. I'm Kimberly Gill. Good evening. Investigators are identifying the suspect as 39-year-old Chad Hickman. Officers found Hickman dead after an hours-long search. It's not clear how he died, though. State troopers were called to a home in Lake Township around noon. When they got there, they found 3 people dead and another person in critical condition. That launched a manhunt for Hickman, with state police using helicopters and canine teams. During the search, a 4th body was found at a separate home. Investigators later found Hickman's truck in a wooded area with his body nearby. Another body was also found in that area. Police are now combing for clues at 3 different scenes.
Not only is this difficult for our investigators and our troopers, but it's very hard for this community. You know, this type of loss is tragic, and we're going to conduct a thorough investigation, and we want to make sure to keep our community members up to date on our current situation and what we're, discovering throughout this process.
Police say there is no ongoing threat, but they're asking people to avoid the area as the investigation continues.
Now, don't it sound like they're all repeating the same thing? We heard about 3 or 4, maybe 5 news stories. Don't it sound like they're all saying the same thing? Right? And this description by the sis, shout out to Unresolved. She be spitting hot fire. And look, this ain't the same shooting, but the point that she makes is so on the money, right? That it's even relevant now. Hold on, check this out.
There's a shooting and it's a white man. Notice the silence around race. When it's a black man, Latino man, Asian man, that detail comes out front and center before the name's even released. Black male suspect, Hispanic suspect of Asian descent. They put the race in bold, underlined italics like that's the damn headline itself. Right. But here, 40-year-old suspect, no race, no description, just suspect. That omission is the description. That's the tell. Because if it had been anybody other than a white man, they would have been sure to paint that picture instantly. And that is a dog whistle of white privilege. See, whiteness gets to be faceless, raceless, just an individual, while everybody else gets racialized. The bigger point is that yet another church was shot up. A so-called sanctuary violated again, just like black churches have been for centuries, targets of white violence. That same political violence that they tried to condemn when it came to CK. Just like mosques, synagogues, and temples too. The cycle keeps repeating because America won't face itself. Now in America, guns are sacred, whiteness is protected, and non-white lives, expendable.
I thought that was pretty telling, that I could cut and paste a different story right onto a situation that's happening right now. You understand what I'm saying? Look, I was able to do that again. So I'm just scouring the internet, doing what I do. And I ran across this other little mass unaliving, or whatever you want to call it, And look how they try to tiptoe around it. It says Trey Gowdy blames YT males for mass shootings. Listen how they talk about it. Hold on, let me get that value.
Criminal justice system equipped to even handle these. You've seen I feel like more than anyone has really encountered such tragic cases involving children during your career.
But hold on. First of all, he said, she asked, is the criminal justice even equipped to handle these? So basically what she's saying is, if we actually target the individuals that are perpetuating these sort of kind of crimes, would we have enough space to lock them up? Hell yeah. Y'all had all the space for the crackheads and the drug dealers during the drug war. Hell yeah, y'all got enough space. What kind of question is that? But you see how they be though? Hold on.
In your experience, is the criminal justice system equipped to even handle these? You've seen I feel like more than anyone has really encountered such tragic cases involving children during your career, and we've talked about the grief and the ripple effect of the parents and in the community, and in your role as prosecutor, and as the pieces are taken up by those members of the justice system, what now?
Our system is reactive. Something bad happens, we react to it. And what people are crying for now is, how can we prevent this? How can we stop it?
Right.
And the only way to stop it is to identify the shooter ahead of time or keep the weapons out of their hands. And so we're going to have a conversation of freedom versus protecting children. I mean, how many school shootings does it take before we're going to have a conversation about keeping firearms out? It's always a young white male. Almost always. I mean, did anyone this morning think, I wonder if that was a female? Did any of y'all think that? I mean, there's been one school shooting involving a female. One. Yeah, Tennessee. But other than that, it is usually young white males.
Damn. I know we're going to lose a lot of people like that because, they don't be wanting to hear the real. And this is not to beat up on anybody. We're just talking about the truth. And somebody said, I can't see the full screen. Well, luckily for you, we got 2 streams. So you're looking at that on the portrait. Who that is? Who said that? J Flow, 8080. You're looking at it on portrait. Welcome to the channel. If you click on the channel and then go to the channel, it's 2 streams. We got the landscape and the portrait screen. The landscape is the one with the big screen on it, and you get to see everybody in the chat. So it's a double positive. So hit that like, go to the channel, go to the big stream, interact. But listen, y'all. Now we got to talk about some tough issues now. We definitely got to talk about said culture. Okay. This might sting a little bit.
Only gets used as an explanation in one direction. When the black community deals with violence, poverty, or anything, culture comes out immediately. Culture of crime, culture of poverty, culture of fatherlessness. It's the go-to indictment, no further investigation required. But when white men commit the overwhelming majority of mass shootings in this country, suddenly it's not culture. It's a lone wolf. It's mentally ill. He was radicalized online. It's a bad apple. It's an individual tragedy. Anything but a pattern that says something about the culture that produces him. That's a choice made consistently by the same commentators in real time.
Look, this is a real challenge. Name me the last time that white Americans as a community coalesced and supported a murderer who was famous for nothing other than murder. Couldn't tell you. You couldn't. You couldn't. That's the tribalism that white people, that's black fatigue. Yeah. White Americans, if some white kid stabbed a black kid for was in a school where he shouldn't be, you wouldn't find a single white person defending him.
100% I agree.
And that's what we're like,
and if you did, they'd be the minority. They'd be those crazy, he killed a black guy. Yeah, that's really online though.
You wouldn't find them outside of a courthouse. They don't exist. Yeah. They don't exist because we actually are more colorblind in it, where we go like, okay, this is a bad person. This is a good criminal. It doesn't mean that they think that of all black people, but now white Americans are going, okay, I do feel more anxious around big groups of black people because I know that if something goes down, there's going to be a team of them versus us. And white people don't really have that team. We're the only people who don't. So they're intimidated and they're scared and they feel like they're not allowed to voice an opinion.
Take someone like Steven Crowder. He consistently goes on podcasts where he sits across.
Whoa, hold on. I never heard that perspective from the white guy before.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Let me take that back, man. I need to hear that. I didn't know they had that sort of kind of fear. Is that a new fear unlocked?
Kid stabbed a black kid for was in a school where he shouldn't be. You wouldn't find a single white person defending him.
100% I agree.
And that's what we're like,
and if you did, they'd be the minority. They'd be those crazy, he killed a black guy. Yeah, that's really online though.
You wouldn't find them outside of a courthouse. They don't exist. Yeah. They don't exist because we actually are more colorblind than it, where we go like, okay, this is a bad person, this is a good criminal athlete. It doesn't mean that they think that of all black people, but now white Americans are going, okay, I do feel more anxious around big groups of black people because I know that if something goes down, there's going to be a team of them versus us. And white people don't really have that team. We're the only people who don't. So they're intimidated and they're scared and they feel like they're not allowed to voice an opinion.
Take someone like Steven Crowder. He consistently goes on podcasts where he sits across from black men he knows he doesn't have the wit, wherewithal, or tools to counter him. And he uses that to plant a narrative, claiming white people don't support known murderers, while trying to point to the black community rallying behind Carmelo Anthony, a boy who was defending himself. It's a textbook dog whistle to incite hate. Truly wild to me how white people are statistically associated with mass shootings, school shootings, pedophilia, sexual assault against women and children, and a culture that literally glorifies serial killers with TV franchises, yet somehow they have the audacity to project violence and danger onto the black community. It's a public projection designed entirely to uphold white supremacy. They've co-opted black fatigue just like they did with DEI, stripping the words of their actual meaning so they could weaponize them against us. The idea that white people are inherently
Did y'all know that's what they do? Could y'all verbally articulate what they be doing with the black fatigue? Let me bring that back for you, because that's when you hear all the time, ain't it?
And entirely to uphold white supremacy. They've co-opted black fatigue just like they did with DEI, stripping the words of their actual meaning so they could weaponize them against us.
Like woke? Huh? No, recognize what you see when you see it now.
Idea that white people are inherently nonviolent is a historical lie. I have never feared for my life walking past a group of black people, but I will absolutely side-eye a white boy having a bad day in public for fear of a mass shooting.
Get out of the way. That's what they want you to do. Go stay in your house. Go lay down and die.
Boy, if you see, hold up. Okay, let me ask in the chat. If you seen that going down in public, are you one, finna get out of there real quick, or two, act like it ain't nothing? If you see a YT dude in public getting bucked like that, are you finna get out of there, or two, act like it ain't nothing? I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. My head's on a swivel. I'm trying to figure out where to exit at. I'm getting past. I'm not trying to make no eye contact. I'm out of there. You know, they even made up a name for that. It's called going postal. Where do you think that came from? Where do you think going postal came from? Oh, y'all should have seen it. Like 100 people dropped off because they don't want to hear this truth. Hey, man, it's the real truth. We talk a real game. I'm not doing this for them. I'm doing this for y'all. Real truth. I'm getting up out of there. 100%. But my boy cooking, though. Let him cook.
Or trust a white woman not to mind her business and weaponize her tears and call the cops on me knowing I could get killed.
Oh God, no, excuse. Now you oh my God! Oh my God! Do you see this? Oh my God! Now I want security for you. Oh my God!
I am at Cleveland Cascade. I am a white person with.
Hey, hold on. Y'all remember that story of this lady right here? I did this story on this podcast. This girl got out, laid on the ground, cried, screamed, hollered, then proceeded to get up and chase the woman with the camera, talking about she won't get out, get away from me, get the camera out my face. Real crazy, real deluded. It's a grown woman. I don't know if y'all remember this story. I do a lot of stories, but I remember this one specifically. This girl laid out on the ground and did a full fallout, and then proceeded to get up and chase this lady, talking about get away from me, while chasing her, talking about get away from me. Then who was that? Barbecue Karen? Ain't this kind of like when the Karen word started?
Now I want security for you.
I am at Cleveland Cascade. I am a white person with brown hair, a navy blue sweatshirt, and jeans. I am wearing Nike shoes that are white and gray with a yellow Nike swoosh.
She also stole my card out of my hand.
The hypocrisy is loud, clear, and it's extremely dangerous. Kyle Rittenhouse killed 2 people on camera. His legal defense was crowdfunded into the hundreds of thousands. Derek Chauvin knelt on George Floyd's neck for over 9 minutes in front of cameras, and his defense raised money too. Daniel Penny murdered a 30-year-old black homeless man, Jordan Neely, on camera and raised nearly $3 million. George Zimmerman, Shiloh Hendricks, Dylan Roof, every cop caught on camera shooting someone, and the list goes on. This isn't a small subset engaging in fringe behavior. It's mainstream sympathy mobilized fast for white men who kill people in public view.
Now that's why I was playing all of them news clips like that. Look how they was tiptoeing and dancing around who the actual suspect, even while showing the picture, refused to give the race of the suspect.
Now put Carmelo Anthony next to that, a black teenager, a self-defense claim, and before the case even finished moving through the legal system, the public verdict was already in. Guilty, dangerous, no benefit of the doubt. Compare that to Rittenhouse, who got the presumption of innocence before he got anything else, who got platformed by the right, was on stage at Turning Point USA, and with these same people still defending him today. That's the actual double standard. Not that white people are violent and black people aren't. The double standard is in who gets the benefit of doubt, who gets crowdfunded, and who gets convicted in public opinion before the facts are even in. Let's be clear. Crime is not a cultural trait. It's a human one. People commit crimes across the entire spectrum of humanity, regardless of their skin tone or where they live. And statistically, crime is almost always a matter of proximity. People commit crimes where they live, which means white-on-white crime is just as prevalent as black-on-black crime. So when the media weaponized the black-on-black crime dog whistle in the 90s, they weren't describing culture, they were deliberately ignoring a whole subset of people in a different geographical location. Because in America, you cannot talk about crime without talking about historical context. When you systematically redline a community, strip away economic mobility, and force generations into abject poverty, survival instincts take over and crime inevitably rises. But here's the cruelest part of that design. Under that loophole of the 13th Amendment, that resulting crime becomes a business model. High crime justifies over-policing. Over-policing leads to over-conviction. Over-conviction feeds a massive free labor force directly into the prison system.
Which is why they make up and pin crimes on black men, and that's why we the highest people that is exonerated. If we did so much crime, then you wouldn't have to falsely accuse people. Then it would just be crime. But no, we got them planting stuff, falsifying information and documents, colluding them amongst each other. If we was doing all the crime.
Disparity in our sentencing isn't a glitch in the system. It's a perfectly calibrated pipeline designed to turn poverty into profit, all while blaming the very people they trapped. Now, does this abscond black people from critique, from accountability, and from actual crimes committed? Absolutely not. But we need to drastically change the framework and how we look at crime, criminology, and who and what are associated with said behaviors. Because to a demographic who puts the public and children at harm the most, but gets to project that onto others, is centuries of brainwashing racism into the fabric of American culture.
Say that again. What is that?
Children at harm the most, but gets to project that on framework and how we look at crime, criminology, and who and what are associated with said behaviors. Because to a demographic who puts the public and children at harm the most, but gets to project that onto others, is centuries of brainwashing racism into the fabric of American culture. And it doesn't stop at the courtroom. It's in who gets to tell the story afterward. Look at true crime as an industry. Who's greenlighting these shows? Who's running the studios, writing the scripts, deciding which killer gets a prestige drama with a sympathetic backstory? Dahmer gets a limited series that humanizes him. Bundy gets a movie that casts a heartthrob. Meanwhile, killers who aren't white rarely get the same narrative complexity. They get flattened. They get monster. No nuance, no origin story. That's not about who's watching, because everybody watches true crime. That's about who's producing it. Who has the institutional power to decide whose violence gets turned into art and whose gets turned into a mugshot.
Damn. That's deep right there. That one, what he just said was deep. What you say, bruh?
That's about who's producing it. Who has the institutional power to decide whose violence gets turned into art and whose gets turned into a mugshot.
Them is bars.
Further perpetuating that psychology of criminology. So when Crowder wants to talk about who supports violent people, ask him about the GoFundMe pages, ask him about the streaming deal, ask him about who's getting the benefit of the doubt in this country the whole time. Because the culture that needs examining isn't the one he's pointing out. It's the one holding the camera, and it's the one he comes from.
Are white men. The lead robbers in America are white men. The largest amount of rapists are white men. The highest number of domestic abusers is white men. The highest number of arrested pedophiles is white men. The greatest number of drug dealers arrested is white men. But if you ask the average American who are the proponents of crime, is a black face to it. They're now trying to create this narrative that the immigrants are bringing in the crime because they never want to own up to what it is that they have done. Part of our responsibility is to pull the sheets off. We had a shooting here in Georgia not long ago. A young man named Colt, 14 years old, went and shot up his high school. His father's now being charged. Can you imagine what conversation me and you would be having if Colt was black and Colt's black father gave him a gun? The television, the internet would explode on the irresponsibility of black fathers, on why it is that young black men have guns and are carrying guns. It has always shifted to make black men feel hyper-aggressive, hypersexual, and hyper-criminalized. It's part of a larger, historic, original sin of America that always criminalizes and points their fingers at black men when it's absolutely not true. Are white men. The lead robber.
I found the common denominator in all this recent violence.
Part 2. Killed 10 black people in a Buffalo grocery store. His motive was, quote, to prevent the elimination of the white race. The El Paso Walmart shooter, he shot 45 people, killing 23. He thought he was acting at the request of President Trump to stop the invasion. He also cited the Great Replacement theory. The neo-Schmatzi who killed 9 people at a black church because he, quote, had to do something. This is the Pittsburgh synagogue shooter. His motive was to stop white genocide. The Oregon shooter, police found a manifesto where he went on a lengthy rant about black men. The Dollar General shooter, his motive was a hatred for black people. Despite previously being involuntarily committed, he was still able to legally purchase the weapon, Florida. This is the Oxford school shooter. His parents gave him a 9mm for an early Christmas gift when he was 15 years old. They were so excited they just couldn't wait till Christmas. The shooter, police found that he was viewing not like propaganda online and that he wanted to demonstrate his masculinity. The man went on a shooting spree in Atlanta, killed 8 people, 6 of whom were Asian women. This was the Dayton mass shooter, shot 17 people, killing 9, including his sister, who previously suspended from school for having hit lists and rape lists. The Santa Fe school shooter, one of his victims rejected his romantic advances. This was the Thousand Oaks shootings, this is the Parkland shooter, Sutherland Springs shooter, Las Vegas shooter, the Sandy Hook shooter, this is the Aurora Theater shooter. He had an obsession with killing and chose the weapon that would allow for the maximum amount of casualties. This, of course, are the Columbine shooters. The Chardon school shooter, who was upset that his ex-girlfriend had a new boyfriend. The Georgia school shooter, he is not transgender, no matter how many right-wing AI-generated memes tell you so. Father gave him an AR for Christmas when he was 14.
I found the common denominator in all this recent violence.
Part 2. Killed 10 black people.
So what does that say, man, about the culture, man? What does that say, man? Because they be always hopping in the comments talking about this, that, and the other. Give me all the EBT. Give me all the gang violence in Chicago. Give me all the DEI. But we ain't taking the whole family out. We ain't fondling shorties. I think it's an epidemic, y'all. It's an epidemic. It's an epidemic, y'all.
It's time this country does something about this white-on-white crime wave that's gripping America, and I'll give you 3 things about it. Thing number 1, the receipts are in the numbers. The moment the Charlie Kirk news broke, anyone who knows America's history of violence had the same thought. According to the FBI and the Justice Department, 81% of violent crimes committed against white people are committed by.
So it occurs to me that we are in a bit.
My bad.
It's time this country does something about this white-on-white crime wave that's gripping America, and I'll give you 3 things about it. Thing number 1, the receipts are in the numbers. The moment the Charlie Kirk news broke, anyone who knows America's history of violence had the same thought. According to the FBI and the Justice Department, 81% of violent crimes committed against white people are committed by white people. And according to the Rockefeller School of Government, 55% of mass shooters are white. That is a criminal profile we are not paying close enough attention to. Thing number 2, the media lies to you for profit. Corporate outlets like CNN and Fox News rake in billions, fueling imaginary fears. The dark hooded immigrant, the gun-toting black gang member. This keeps white America terrified so that they can sell you gold coins, laundry detergent, and survival kits. But here's the truth.
The Cato Institute found that undocumented immigrants are 26 times less likely than native-born Americans to be convicted of violent crimes like homicide. The fear they sell you isn't just unfounded, it's a con designed to keep you scared and spending. Thing number 3, white folk, the call is coming from inside the house. The overwhelming majority points to one conclusion, that white people are most at risk from other white people. The shooters in school, the domestic terrorists, the suburban mass killer, they don't look like the caricatures the
Wait a minute. That was riveting. Say that again, bro.
domestic terrorists, the suburban mass killer, they don't look like the caricatures the media is peddling. They look like your classmates, your coworkers, your neighbors. Until America is ready to confront that reality, we'll keep watching tragedies mount while we're blaming the wrong people. This isn't about immigration. This isn't about the inner cities. There is no trans agenda. The real crime wave in America is white on white crime, and ignoring it has deadly consequences. But what do you think?
Wow. Wow, guys. I mean, wow. I mean, let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it, man. Because I'm sick of it. Me, I'm sick of the finger pointing in the tail wagging, pun intended. I'm sick of it. I think we need to talk about the hypocrisy and the real problem.
Loves to blow up the story about the mentally ill black man who had a mental episode and killed the white Ukrainian woman on the subway. But America does its best to cover up, hide, and never talk about all the white men that have killed black people on trains, buses, and wherever.
Don't they always throw that little white lady up in y'all face? Stacy, thanks for the jewels. Don't they always throw that little white lady up in your face? Like, what about the white lady on the train? What about the white lady on the train? Who I think the whole thing was AI, really. She had an overseas name, so she couldn't be tracked to nothing over here in America. And plus, they made her overseas so she wouldn't have any records or be fact-checked, over here. I think it was an AI story. You know how they do. They love to play victim. I don't even think the story is real. What about the lady on the train? What about the lady on the train?
Like 42-year-old white supremacist Jeremy Christian, who attacked black teenage girls on the train in Portland, Oregon. This white fake supremacist piece of shit stabbed 3 people on the train who tried to defend the black teenager.
Not one, not twice, but 3 people? We did this story too, by the way, on the channel as well. Because this is the type of stuff that we've covered. But y'all ain't heard about this, huh? See, my memory long. I know all about this.
2 of those men died, and Jeremy Christian was convicted to 2 life sentences in prison.
So you mean you murked 2 witnesses trying to get at a black lady? By the way, this was a black lady, and notice ain't no hate crime or nothing. It was a black lady that he stabbed. I remember clearly. They was on the BART in the Bay Area. This happened in the Bay Area in Cali. They was on the BART. I remember clearly. You understand? Let's talk about it.
This situation proves not all of America is racist, because it was 3 white men that stood up to that white supremacist that tried to attack those teenage black girls.
Dang. The hate ain't that funny though? Ain't that funny that they hate us so much, but it's always they folk that they end up taking out. Kyle Rittenhouse. It's always they folks that's getting the bad end of the stick.
2 of those heroic white men died. Rest in peace to Ricky Best and Telishan Mesh. You'll never hear America talk about 27-year-old John Lee Caldwell, A white man who got on a bus in Oakland, California and killed 18-year-old Neil Wilson. It's insane how much America promotes when one mentally ill black man kills a white Ukrainian woman, but when white men kill black women, America hides the story. America never talks about 42-year-old Robert Rhodes, a white man who killed a black woman on a bus in Tulsa, Oklahoma. America is doing its best to cover up this story. None of the major news outlets covered it. America is literally trying to act like it never happened. I bet you never heard about 28-year-old James Harris Jackson, a white man that traveled from Baltimore to New York with explicit intent to kill black people. This evil bastard pulled out an 18-inch sword and killed a 66-year-old black man. The 66-year-old's name is Timothy Carwin. This evil white dude snuck up on the 66-year-old while he was collecting recyclables and stabbed him to death. Have y'all heard about 64-year-old Frank Arthur Lawson, a white man from South Carolina? He stabbed a black man in the throat over a small disagreement about who was next in line. He was arrested and sentenced to 17 years. Through the grace of God, the black man survived. There's hundreds of stories like this of white men who kill black people, but America is so damn racist, all they try to do is hide it and cover it up and act like it never happened.
Straight like that. Straight like that. Because when you talk about black on black crime, y'all, it's really a myth.
Last time I asked whether black on black crime is even a real category. Let's answer it. Here's the fact that breaks the whole thing. Almost all violent crime is intraracial. That's a fancy word that just means it happens within a group, not between groups. People overwhelmingly hurt the people around them. So yes, most black victims are harmed by black offenders. That part is true. But watch what happens when you flip it. Most white victims are harmed by white offenders. The numbers are right there in the FBI's own data year after year. White on white crime runs at basically the same rate. Around 8 in 10 white murder victims are killed by other white people. So if black on black crime is a meaningful category, that tells us something special, then white on white crime has to be a category too. Same logic, same data, same scale. So let me ask you, in your entire life, how many times have you heard a politician demand to know why we aren't talking about white on white crime?
Shout out to TT Von Savage. Just a question.
How many times has a pundit clutched the mic about the epidemic of white people killing white people in the suburbs?
Just a question. Just a question. You know, maybe if it was ostracized a little bit more and demonized, maybe people would stop doing it. But if they keep getting lionized and superstarred and celebritized, they're gonna keep doing it.
Zero. The phrase doesn't exist. Not because the crime doesn't happen, it happens constantly, but because nobody ever built the phrase. Nobody needed it. And that's the point. If the category only gets applied to one group, then the category was never really about crime. It was about the group.
What did she say? Huh? Wow, that was pretty straightforward. Pretty right there in the kisser.
Point. If the category only gets applied to one group, then the category was never really about crime. It was about the group.
What?
Damn. Is she busting it down or is she busting it down? Huh? Tell me some more about this knowledge you got. A little milk of magnesia.
The crime part is just the costume. Think about what that means. We took a totally normal feature of human violence, the fact that people harm people near them, and we slapped a racial label on exactly one version of it.
Damn. Little milk of magnesia got the knowledge for y'all. How she know and y'all don't know in the chat? How does she know and y'all don't know? Y'all got little Alka-Seltzer messed up. She coming with the nizalish, son. Word to my mother. What?
And then we acted like that label revealed some deep truth about those people specifically.
That's what y'all know. That's what they be doing in the chat, right? They come over here and then they spray their little gibberish, like it's really gonna touch you or you're really gonna feel it in some sort of kind of way because they said it in the chat. Don't I care about what you said in the chat, little dweeb?
It doesn't. It reveals a choice.
Right.
Somebody chose to name this one thing and leave the identical white version unnamed.
Or somebody chose to get on this one channel and get in the chat and say the dumbest shit ever. It is a choice. I agree.
So now the real question isn't whether the crime happens, it's why it clusters the way it does.
And so the real question is, why is the dweebs in the chat and why ain't they getting them birth rates up?
Why do people harm the people near them?
Why do they spit incoherent gibberish like somebody's even listening?
And who exactly is near them?
And who exactly they messing with? MC Petty McGretty, J Lava.
Because the answer to that has almost nothing to do with race and everything to do with a map.
Has nothing to do with race and everything to do everything to do with these verbal lashes that I'm giving you. And y'all just keep coming back for the punishment.
Next time, we follow the map.
Hey, give it up to Look, Milky Smooth broke that down. You know what I'm talking about? But I like when the sisters say it. I like when the sisters say it. When the sis say, let's talk about white on white crime. Go ahead, sis.
Let's talk about white on white crime.
Tell me about
How many
it.
times throughout your life have you heard the term white on white crime?
Never.
Did your parents warn you about white on white crime and
No.
the dangers of predominantly white neighborhoods when you were growing up?
No.
If crime is typically carried out in the neighborhoods where people live and many towns and cities across the country are still significantly segregated by race, then why don't you hear more about white on white crime?
I don't know, sis. Let me know.
In predominantly white neighborhoods. Also, if historically speaking, white people as a group have carried out some of the most horrific, atrocious, vile, deplorable, and calculated acts.
Now she's telling the truth now. I'm with you when you're right now. I'm with you when you're right. Now ain't no lies being told over there now. I'm trying to tell you now you need to open up your ear bone and receive them brain waves, boy. Cause see, that's your problem. Go ahead, sis. Go ahead now.
Of extreme violence, race riots, and genocide.
Uh-huh.
Why aren't you taught to fear white people in predominantly white neighborhoods?
Good question. Very good question, I ponder. Tell me some more.
Why aren't you taught about sundown towns?
I know all about them, sis, but some people don't know. They still exist now to this day, sis. Did you know that there was a green book created due to so many sundown towns being all across America so that when black people wanted to travel, they had a safe place to stop and eat and rest? Do you know that even led to black people having to use the bathroom on the side of the roads because there was many towns that they couldn't even stop in? Just to elaborate on it, but go ahead.
Why don't you avoid predominantly white neighborhoods at night or drive through them really fast?
Well, we do, because I seen Get Out. You could just be walking down the street and somebody can pop up and hit you in the back of the head. Next thing you know, you at a dinner party with your old bag of bones white lady. But go on.
So you can get out as quickly as possible.
I just said get out. I know what you're saying. Now go ahead.
Why aren't there community programs and nonprofits addressing the generational epidemic of white on white crime?
I don't. You know what? I ask that all the time. Where is Justin Timberlake when you need him? Huh? Where is Leonardo DiCaprio? Kevin Bacon? Sigourney Weaver? Celine Dion? Christina Aguilera? George Clooney? I just want to know, where these folks at? Why ain't these people standing in solidarity with their community? Tom Hanks, that good one. Good one. Seth MacFarlane. Miley Cyrus. Post Malone. Tom Cruise. Jessica Simpson. I'm calling on John B. Where John B at? Shit, Color Me Bad. Anybody seen Color Me Bad? Hall and Oates. Boy George. George Michaels. Somebody. Eric Clapton. Motley Crue. Larry Bird. Somebody got to speak out. We need some sort of kind of coalition. We need somebody white. Pauly Shore. Bobcat Goldthwait. Did he die? I don't know. Get him in here. I need somebody. Third base. The Beastie Boys. Michael McDonald. I'm trying to figure out who we can call on for their community. Somebody in their community got to step up, man. Good one. Hulk Hogan. Yep. Van Halen. Yes. Bruce Springsteen. The Who. What about them? Ozzy Osbourne. Somebody got to do something. Alex Trebek. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Listen, I'm just saying. What's up with these folks? Well, if they recently passed, they need to do a memorial in their name on Save the Little White Tea Children. Pee Wee Hart. Yeah, Phil Collins. These is good ones. Gomer Pyle. Yep. Trump really need to do a rally about it. Michael Bolton. Lindsey Graham. Somebody need to channel his spirits. It's ridiculous, guys. It's ridiculous, guys. Yeah, we calling on their ancestors too. Abe Lincoln, Andrew Jackson, whoever. I don't know. John Hancock. Something. Adam Sandler's a good one. Yes. Tiny Tim. y'all ain't spit, boy. Y'all ain't spit. I got a petty ass chat. Y'all know y'all ain't right. Just so y'all know, like, we be on the same thing. There's people in their community that want to take a stand too, but they afraid. Do you know it's people that's in their community that is afraid to speak out because the YT supremacy is so strong? Because, hey, contrary to popular opinion, YT people ostracize the crap out of they coons. Like, they cut they coon. What do you call a what do you call a white coon? Like a white person that's off code. So if we call them coons, what are they, like rabbits? Like bunnies? You call a white person off code a bunny rabbit or something? I'm thinking about, like, how bunny rabbits be the white ones with the red eyes or whatever color eyes. What do you call them? Bunnies? Yeah, the new word for white cooning is bunnies. It just feels right. Is there can anybody come up with a better word for white coons than that? I like bunnies. But that's females that do it to black dudes, mud sharks. And we didn't come up with that. That's what y'all do out of jealousy of them getting some soul pole. That don't count. Sloths? I like it. Sloths. That's actually pretty crazy right there, LA. That's pretty rats. Yeah. Oh, okay. That's the original. You're right about that though. Rat. Snow bunny. Rats, I think, is their original. I forgot about that. Thanks for bringing it back to the old school. Jesus freak. Snow bunny. Snow bunny. Yeah. Something like yeah. Something about snow bunny. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But they get down. Chinchillas. That sounds too prestigious. They get down on they folks that go against the grain. You better believe that. Fentanyl. That's funny, actually. That is hilarious. The white that kills the whites. I can see that. I can see the irony in that. Let me see, what time is it, y'all? It's 10 o'clock, man. All right, so look, if I dip out, I can come back in about 15, 20, 30 minutes, man, with the crime for the night, man. Y'all ready for some crime tonight, man? Because this ain't the crime. I just wanted to go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, bust down this little breaking news story. This just happened. But we going to have some crime tonight. Y'all ready for some crime? MDW, this ain't your speed, fam. This ain't for you. They kill me with that. This is boring. I'm gonna go. There, you guys listen to this guy? Of course, that's why y'all over here trying. If they wasn't nobody listening, y'all wouldn't have nobody to try to convince that you're cool in the chat. Y'all stupid. Of course, they don't think it's boring. We chopping it up. This family time, fool. So yeah, we coming back. I'm coming back with a little bit of Chris on. We're gonna go for a little crime spree for a couple hours or something. You know how I do. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna hold you. I'm a moja foja and scold you about being on code, and I got 4 words for you. I need you to go ahead. Hold on. You know what it is. I need you to go ahead and if you're new here, subscribe for the vibes, like for the spike in the algorithm. Also, if you're already here and already subscribed, come back and hype a video. It might not be this one. It could be another one. Just hype one. You know what I'm talking about? Comment your vomit. Share if you care about getting Black empowerment everywhere. Please do that on the platforms that we are on, Jones. And just to bring it all the way home, all the way, I got love, peace, blessings, and aloha. I'm out the Doha. For sure, you already